this on season 4, episode 44. A lot of fours there. Where we watch Busch Family Brood, season 1, episode 1 and 2. I'm Chris Lorenz, and we got our boy Max here.
That's me. My name is Max. It's just Max.
Noah.
Hey, you got Noah Singer.
Got Brian.
Hey.
Rob.
Hello.
We got Annabeth.
And a beer.
And a beer today. Harrison.
How's it going, gang?
James.
Yo, this is James.
Yeah, it's a little different from our usual. Just it's harder now over Skype, or Zoom. You know, shout out to our boy Zoom.
Product placement rate.
That less secure but much nicer to use product. Zoom.
Is it? I mean,
I hate
Skype isn't
so
end
much.
encrypted either. So like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we have more than 4 video streams going now, so that's been nice.
All right, Harrison, you got that show description for us?
As the former owners of the iconic brewing company Anheuser-Busch, no one brings the party like the Busch family. With their good looks, athleticism, sprawling estate, pets and toys, there's never a dull moment for Billy Sr., Christy, and their 7 kids, Billy Jr., Haley, Abby, Gussie, Grace, Maddie, and Peter, as they navigate their family legacy, relationship drama, and new endeavors. That's the Busch Family Brood on MTV.
I take issue with this description.
Oh, me
They
too.
say there is never a dull moment. I don't know about that.
Also, I took some notes of this show, and all I wrote down was all in the description, so I've got nothing else for you.
Well, I mean, I have a bunch of notes, but most of them are just like, why do they have 7 kids? And why are they so white?
I can tell you why they have 7 kids. It's because they had nothing better to do.
I mean, they're like billionaires. Are they billionaires? Like,
No.
Oh,
it's
okay.
unclear.
I have to talk about this immediately. Actually,
Okay.
okay.
Max, go ahead. I mean, so like my point right now is that like there's no point of going over what happens in this episode because it's all garbage. So like, you
Yes.
just go right to the minutia. We'll just do minutia.
All right.
Well,
let's-
just say
let's
what the
just
show
jump right
is.
into it. I do need to. There are basically. We watched 2 episodes. There are basically 2 threads of drama throughout the episodes. I want to talk about the first thread of drama. There is a girl who's 25. Her name is Haley Busch, and her boyfriend of 8 years says, "Let's go to Paris." Every single fucking person in this family is giving both of them shit for, is he going to propose? Has he proposed? Hey, any news on the proposal? Hey, is there a ring? Okay, here's the fucking thing. These guys, I happen to know how much money they have. They treat like going to Europe as like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. These guys are so fucking rich, I don't understand it at all. It blows my fucking mind.
Yeah,
I
so
mean-
we were vehemently saying they aren't billionaires. They're actually multi-billionaires.
Yes.
Like, okay, so the Busch family overall, or like this part of the Busch family?
The Busch family overall, as of 2016, has a $13.4 billion net worth.
Split between 30 members. So, of which, this is about a third of that.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but they don't actually work at the Busch, like involved in Anheuser-Busch at all. So
No,
like they can't have a good percentage of this. I can't imagine.
Well, I think that they just have money from when they cashed out and they sold it to InBev or whoever owns it now, right?
Correct.
I don't think Noah's saying Anheuser-Busch, the company, has that much money. I think
Yeah,
he's saying
the
this family that no longer owns Anheuser-Busch has this much money.
Correct.
But people in the family worked at Anheuser-Busch when they got taken over in 2016. I imagine those are the people with most of the money.
Let me make this easy for you. This family owns a 700-acre estate. They have a lot of money.
Yeah.
All right, Max,
Fair enough.
I want to challenge your going to Paris is not a big deal because they're super rich.
No, sure. Yeah, hit me. Okay.
I
the
think
mom,
these are the kind of people that never leave their state.
A, I agree. B, the mom had a quote on this. Hold on.
Yeah.
Like they
The
might
mom-
have.
the mom
It might be
was
a
like-
big deal. These people got passports. Like this might be how they think about this kind of stuff.
Okay, the mom says, if you're not going to propose, why take a girl to Europe? Go to Florida. It's cheaper. She's a billionaire. What the fuck is this shit?
But
That's what I'm saying.
Billionaires become billionaires because they're cheap.
But like flying to
They also
Paris
have
and staying in Paris,
Like,
it's like a
don't get
percent
me-
difference.
Don't get me wrong. Paris is a very nice trip. What the fuck is this shit? They spend like 40 of the 50 possible minutes of the show talking about how this guy isn't proposing to this girl, even though they went to Paris. Ooh la la.
Yeah, I do got to add on Max's point. So I was going in the corner throughout the show. They in their Instagrams, they're on private jets. Like that's how they roll. So it just builds on Max's point. Like they can go to Paris tonight.
So you're saying this is all manufactured drama for, say, a TV show?
No, I think they are just like real rich country bumpkins who don't want to leave St. Louis, Missouri. Is it
I don't know.
Missouri?
I might be with Chris on this. It might be they got this TV show and they're like, okay, we got to do some kind of proto-Kardashian stuff. What are we going to have some drama about? And they're like, well, Brad or whatever his name is told us he's going to propose in Paris. Let's pretend he's not.
Clark.
At a 5-episode arc.
His name is Clark, and he's the only reasonable person on the show.
Yeah. So the whole proposal thing is definitely made up for the show. It's definitely a forced drama, and it is obnoxiously too long. Like, it's like a, hey, you're going to get proposed? And like, I don't know. Okay, reasonable question. But then literally it's like 30 minutes of a 40-minute show, like Max said. The other 10 minutes is just like the two, what are their names? Just like getting really drunk. Or at least pretending to get really drunk.
Oh, you're talking,
Billy.
yeah. Billy
Yeah.
and Gus.
Billy
Gussie.
Jr.
Billy and Gussie.
We got to talk about Gussie.
Yeah. The two of them seem like I'd watch a show of those two. They seem like they'd be fun, but everything else was just very boring.
Some
You don't
sort
wanna
of
check
double
out-
shot at love?
Maybe.
What about picking out a prom dress?
That was also a thread.
That was also a thread. Who is that? Grace or
That
Maddie?
was Maddie.
Maddie is the youngest daughter that is going to prom. Grace is the middle daughter. There's nothing. She has no storyline in the first two episodes. Peter is the youngest son. He's in the show for like 30 seconds.
I have a thing to talk about Peter.
Sure, go ahead.
The only thing we see of Peter in the show is he grabs a popsicle for breakfast. Somebody says, should he do that? And the mom says, it's fine.
I think
Fucking
everyone
hero.
likes Peter. Nobody likes Peter.
Peter
It's,
seems like a real
last
jerk.
child syndrome. Like,
Yeah,
they don't give a fuck.
He definitely has like a strong like Baron Trump vibe.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I like him. He's clearly a mistake child, and he's holding his own.
I think
He
no,
holding his
Harsh,
own? We have no
harsh.
evidence of this.
well, the only line on the show that he says is he has like one testimonial or something, and he's like, "This family revolves around me," and then it's like him sliding down a slip and slide.
Oh yeah.
I am rooting for that kid.
I am not.
I don't care at all about that kid.
Me neither.
No,
Just-
no, he can save this whole show if they just put him on.
What do I want to see? 12-year-olds or brats? I don't want to see a show about 12-year-olds ever.
Wait, 12-year-olds are brats, but Gussie's not a brat? What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, Gussie's a different kind of brat. But like 12-year-olds can just be mean and annoying I don't need to be right. It's fine. Then we've got Abby. Is Abby even in the show?
I don't
Who
think
is
so.
Abby?
Well, she's
No.
the
Abby-
16-year-old that is mature for her age, apparently. Was the quote from
There's-
the show.
There's two boys in the show with storylines. That's the two older brothers, and there's girl who goes to Europe and girl who goes to prom, and the parents, and those are the only characters.
Right.
Yeah, but there's 7 kids.
Well, Abby
Are
is
there
the
though?
one that's giving a bunch of like dating and relationship advice to her older sister.
Haley about the proposal.
Right.
Maddie's the youngest. She's 16.
And Maddie is the one going to prom.
Yeah.
No, dude, Abby is 16.
I think it was Maddie. Whatever it was, doesn't fucking
Oh,
matter.
I don't know. MTV was doing this thing where they would put people's names up, which I will say was helpful because there is a bunch of people initially to remind who is this person again? And since they're the family, they look close enough. But they would also put like their age and I guess stuff. I guess, do you think they had to put their age to like be clear who was drinking and who wasn't?
I think they do that just as like to discriminate between the family members, because otherwise
it's like
all
what
the
do you have?
names sound alike and all of them will look alike.
Right.
It's just like, oh, who's that one? Oh, the 26-year-old or whatever.
Oh,
I'm going to bring up something I love to bring up, which is this show could use the "Are you the one" nicknames for everybody.
When you're right, you're right.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
Gussie, I don't even know what to describe him as, or
The wild
Haley,
child.
the one going to Paris. And then, okay, yeah, the one going to Paris. Got it. Let's move on.
Gussie
Yeah.
is the one that knows how to party.
We need to
Yes.
talk about the other character in this show, which is like the friend of the boys, whose name I
Yeah.
forget.
Let's
Jake.
get into this other storyline. We've got Billy Jr., which is the oldest son, and his next in line brother, which is Gussie. They move into another house on the estate at some point, and they're just like trying to live it up. But this house is full of like decorative chickens, so they're like trying to remove all these chickens from the house.
Well, they also
And-
called it a barn, to be clear.
The
It's a house.
The farmhouse. I don't know. Yeah, it was definitely farmhouse. I don't know, something like that.
It's like a nice house. It's a
Yeah.
nice house that's decorated in this like rustic style.
Well-
and they cut to the mom, and she's like, "I love chickens," and it's like chicken wallpaper.
Well, and that's the whole thing. Her mom is the one that decorated the house, which minutia is a hot topic with the fellas.
And
They're
then
not
these boys
impressed
are
with the
clearly-
decoration.
The boys are clearly gonna destroy the house in like 1 week. That like it was day one, they move in, they're doing a beer bong from the second floor.
Yeah, that's the first thing they do.
Love beers.
The
Yeah.
second thing they do is they invite their buddy Jake over, and they start shotgunning beers in the kitchen. Like, who shotguns a beer inside? Like, you're
They're on a fucking farm. Unlimited outside area.
It's also the Busch family farm. You're just beering everywhere.
Yeah.
Where
It's
are you
definitely-
not drinking a beer?
Honestly,
It's also
like,
really nice out.
honestly, like if you're in the Bush family, no one's getting mad at you for shotgunning a beer in the kitchen.
There's a scene later on where these same boys are in like maybe a bar in the main house, and they're just like like they're lifting kegs, shaking them, like they're
They're
popping
spraying
off,
it everywhere.
spraying
It's
them. Disgusting.
They must
Did we
have somebody to clean
establish
all that up.
if this is Bush brand beer or not? Because I feel like this is only acceptable if you're still keeping it in the family. If you bring in some Coors Light, you can't be drinking any of that.
So this goes into like another part of the show. They kind of speak to in the beginning where they're starting their own brewery, right? So they have nothing to do with Anheuser-Busch anymore. And so every beer on the show they drank was from this brewery called Crafted, which is their independent brewery. They try to get off the ground. But
They were drinking beer from the new brewery that they were talking about?
They are. But the brewery doesn't exist yet. Like there's a scene where the parents go and like look at a plot of land, and they're like, "Let's put the brewery here."
so this goes into when they taped the show. The brewery shut down in August 2019.
wow.
When was it made?
Yeah,
When was this?
so confused.
When was this episode?
So
When is
I've been trying to triangulate when this was made. My best guess is this was taped 3 years ago.
Oh, wait. I know how to figure this out. Give me a sec. I'll be right back.
Wait, is this a new show? This just dropped. This is some
Yeah,
hot
this
news?
is very new.
Okay.
It's like on episode 8 right now.
But I'm fairly certain the episodes we're seeing was summer of 2017. And that's why they're drinking this beer. It's all around. Then 2 years in the future of the show, the brewery then goes out of business.
Well, so
which is-
what? Can you explain the scene to me where the parents go and look at the plot of land? Like where is so the brewery does not exist yet, but they're drinking that beer. Like, where is that beer?
That's confusing.
I think Chris has the answer for you, Annabeth.
It doesn't matter.
No, the answer is it's fake for the show.
So the brewery already exists, and they are going to pretend like they're designing and building this brewery.
Maybe they have like a smaller batch brewery, and they're going to make an actual like bigger brewery. I don't know. That storyline didn't come up yet. I don't know.
Okay.
Just another beach house.
The brewery's been around since at least 2012.
Okay.
Oh shit! Okay.
So
The
can
way
we
they
talk?
teased the brewery at the end of the first episode, I thought it was going to be a bigger deal, and they barely mentioned it in the second episode. So I was wondering what's going on with this brewery.
Does this make anybody want to drink the Busch beer?
Oh, it's crafting beer. I'm just surprised how they go out of business. Like, they literally have billions of dollars to fund this. How bad can you run this to let it go out of business?
I mean, it's possible they could have kept it going, and they just decided they don't want to bother anymore.
There's definitely a case where, like, we don't know how much money this specific family has and how much they were willing to funnel into this beer, like, thing that they were trying to do.
However much money they have, they as a family have at least $10 million, right? They have a
Probably.
700-acre ranch. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, the whole family has a 700-acre, like, ranch that they live on. That does not mean that this particular family has access to the financials of a 700-acre
Oh no,
ranch.
Oh.
just these 9 have the 700-acre ranch.
Okay.
In any case, I can pinpoint exactly when this was made. So one of the characters is mentioned as having a brief acting career. So I go on IMDb and compare their birth date on that to how old they were in the show. So they were born in 1993, which would make them 27 now, but they were 25 in the show. So 2 years ago.
It was some sleuthing, some internet corner.
Yeah, so I can triangulate one more to there. I think she's probably born later in the year. Can you go back on IMDb?
February 3rd. Suck it.
February 3rd? See, so Gussie's age jump is 3 years compared to today, and when the show is, when he's marked as 21.
He's
and that's
22 on the show, Noah.
that solves it. Thanks. 2 years.
Some kind of an internet corner battle happening here.
Oh, I think Max won the internet corner battle. Oh man, there's a new sheriff in town.
There's a new corner.
Is it now Max's internet corner?
Oh damn!
I'm not sure I want that mantle.
I felt like that was like the NCIS segment.
Oh yeah.
So, like, another thing I want to bring up is at the end of each episode, the parents, Billy and Christy, on a, like, horse and carriage. Like, is this going to go through the whole season of them just, like, the end of the episode, we're, like, chatting on this horse and carriage?
I'm so glad you brought this up. I was thinking the exact same thing. Is this a motif? Every episode has to end with Billy and what's her name? The horses.
Well, I mean, they have the sort of iconic Clydesdales from the commercials. It's building the brand.
So
They're not related anymore.
I'm confused about the Clydesdales situation. So does this family own the Budweiser Clydesdales, or what the fuck? What horses they use in the commercials? Did they get them from the company when they sold them? Are they just like, do they just have them because they want to be cool because they're Bushes?
So,
Like, what's happening?
on an article I read before we started this, they have 50 horses on the estate.
Holy shit.
What?
50.
So when they go to film the Christmas commercial, do they knock on this dude's door, or do they go and source their own Clydesdales, you think?
I have no idea.
I bet
I don't
there
know
are
what you
official Budweiser Clydesdales, and these are off-brand other Clydesdales.
Yeah.
What do you need 50 horses for?
What do you need 200 tigers for, Chris?
I would say that this segment with the Clydesdales and the parents is one of the worst parts of the show. This conversation that they have at the end of the 2 episodes we watched was the most, like, sort of fake and weird and just sort of, like, upsetting.
What do you mean? They've been on them for 32 years. 32 years they're on that horse and carriage.
But that was more upsetting than Gussie just pouring a beer on himself.
It's also very upsetting. He was, like, in, like, oh my god, that was terrible. He was, like, in a chair in a living room. He pours a beer on himself.
Shirtless. You gotta mention shirtless.
Terrible to watch.
It's
Horrifying.
Gussie's natural state.
But then Gussie really cares about his sister, and they have that beautiful lunch where he's really worried that Clark doesn't care about her.
I would not be taking relationship advice from Gussie. That's my advice.
Would you rather take relationship advice from Gussie or from your 16-year-old sister?
I think the 16-year-old sister beats Gussie, I gotta say.
It's been 8 years, Rob. Come on.
8 years. He talks about
that's
the
all-
bridge with the locks. How do you talk about the bridge with the locks and then you don't propose? You take a girl to Europe, you propose.
You know, some people, they go to this bridge in Paris and they put a lock on the fence to signify their love being locked together forever. I don't know if we're going to do that, but it's just something that people do.
Oh man.
I was gonna ask,
about
is anyone gonna explain
Clydesdales.
that, or are we just gonna let that roll?
Yeah, we're talking about the proposal stuff.
I'm just saying, unless you've watched the episode, so like if somebody's coming in cold to this podcast, it's gonna sound weird.
James, set it up for us. Give us all the details.
Oh well, Harrison was
me?
trying to.
I don't know, everyone kept talking, what's happening?
I have to talk about these Clydesdales for one more second. It's very important. Okay, so the Anheuser-Busch company, they use their Clydesdales from 3 sort of farms across the country, including one which is in St. Louis, which is owned by Billy Busch from the show. Here's the thing. He really wanted to keep this farm in the family, so there was a sort of bidding war for this farm, and eventually some Anheuser-Busch InBev wanted to buy it for $26 million. Billy Busch put in a offer for $26,001,001, and he won.
Oh.
Oh man. Playing that.
Playing that Price is Right.
Thanks. Skip me. Ooh. So, Max, can you tell me what the name of the second episode was?
The Birds and the Sex.
So the big theme, or at least a big theme of the second episode, was giving what was Maddie the sex talk. And it was real awkward, and as you would imagine, some sort of sex talk would be in general, and to see it on TV. Max, can you give us some of the tips that Christy gave
I would
Maddie?
actually like to do a dramatic reenactment of a scene from the show.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to be the mom, and you can be Maddie, okay?
I don't remember what Maddie said, but okay.
Ask me anything. Maddie says, how old were you when you lost your virginity? Mom says, ask me another question. I'm a world of knowledge.
I mean,
All
it's
right, that was a
also-
great quote.
It also was mentioned that Christy was doing bikini competitions in bars when she was younger, and that's how Billy met her, was doing like a bikini contest in a bar. So like she's been around. She was having some fun.
Seems like it.
Although she will not say the P word.
Oh, yeah.
What is the P word?
The P word is period.
I know. I was saddened and shocked by that.
That is
She-
horrifying.
She also said she referred to boobs as like bajoobies or something.
It was Jahoobies. She was like, "Is second base still touching Jahoobies?" And
I
thought
hate
that was
when
really
those
funny.
Jahoobies witnesses knock on my door.
And then she also gave the advice of, if you have sex, you'll die. So good advice, good mom advice to give to your daughter.
Isn't that from Mean Girls?
Might have been.
I think
Maybe
so.
the Bush family is praying mantises.
Anything's possible in this brave new world.
Could be. So at some point, the guys go skeet shooting. Is the skeet shooting range on this like 700-acre range?
Has to.
Like,
Yeah.
They're just like, this is our skeet shooting area.
For sure.
It felt like it.
What the hell else are they doing with 700 acres?
Shooting stuff,
I don't know.
drinking beers.
You've got 700 acres in Missouri and you're not shooting stuff. I think they take it away from you.
Well, do you have to go and clean up all that shit, or you just let it sit?
You pay people to do that.
Hey, you don't clean it up.
Well, I mean, you could pay no one to clean it up too and keep it. Like, just leave all the shit on the ground. I don't know.
Kind of depends on what you want to do with the land, I guess.
This is our this is our junkyard of skeet shoots. Half of them are shot and half of them aren't.
But speaking of which, a junkyard would be a good place to shoot stuff, probably, huh? Wouldn't have to clean anything up. It's already junk.
Fair.
When you're right, you're right.
New business idea for when businesses can come back.
The last scene I have of note is, so at some point Maddie gets a prom dress. We see her shopping. But then we see her actually going to prom, and they have the guy comes with the friends, and there's like a real awkward conversation with the dad, and like saying, hey, essentially don't have sex with my daughter. But then you have Billy Jr. and Gussie come out shirtless and try to give this big intimidation game. And
so good.
That was probably the best scene in the whole show, at least at this point. But yeah, definitely Billy Jr. and Gussie shirtless all the time.
Also, we haven't talked about how they have control over the pets.
That was really weird because like you could barely see them do it because they were wearing some loose fitting shirts. It was kind of weird. But yeah, shirtless, pet control, a lot of muscle work going on. They're definitely spending
They also, we didn't talk about, they also really like talking about their guns as the mountain. There's a whole scene we didn't talk about where some women come to party at the farmhouse.
Oh my god.
Where do the women come from? Unexplained. I think it's the friend invited the women because he's got the women hookup. Very unclear.
Well, Jake walked in the room and said, I got the girls on speed dial.
Yeah.
That was how he entered the room.
But then they said that he didn't.
Well, he got him there.
No.
So he did.
I'm pretty sure he's not the one who got those girls there, though, because then they were talking about how one of them arranged for, like, a single girl that this guy could hit on to, like, be there or something, but, like...
I think it was implied.
And then the girl, he talks to one of the girls, and he's like, what's your name? And she's like, Patrice. And he's like, have you ever heard your name whispered over a mountain? And then he whispers her name over his bicep.
I missed this part.
How did you miss that? That was the funniest pickup line of all time.
This was in the deleted scenes, and I believe some of us did not watch the
I didn't
deleted
see any deleted scenes.
This was a
I
very
just skipped
good
those.
scene.
And as I said, Chris, you missed out on some great content.
Both deleted scenes are critical.
I think it was implied that those women are friends of the daughters, and that's why they're there.
Okay.
And I don't think they're very interested in the available menfolk at this party.
So, they're friends of the daughter, but the daughter's not there. So she's like, hey, all my friends, go and sleep with my idiot brothers and their idiot friend.
I mean, I think a bunch of the daughters were there. There's 5 daughters, or there's 4 daughters.
Were they actually at the farmhouse? I thought it was all like...
Well, no, the deleted scene was at the party where I think all 9 were there.
Oh, okay.
The way Gussie and his brother are summed up is that they really want to be Dan Bilzerian. That guy who was like pretty popular a little bit back, just has an Instagram of spending money, girls, booze.
What?
You know what? I think you're talking about something that all of us who have not been deep in the internet corner have no idea what it is.
No, he has a rap song about him. Like,
That's really famous. Obviously, having a rap song means you're famous.
What?
I can't believe you guys don't know this guy.
I've never heard of this.
What's the guy's name?
What guy?
Dan Bilzerian.
Wait. This guy was at that party?
No. But, like, they just want to be like this guy. He's just known for kind of like a douchebag asshole. He works out a lot. He just hangs out with women. Like, that's his life.
What
Sounds
guy?
like people on Jersey Shore, Noah.
It's that to it, but he's also really rich. Like, he is gaudy with all the money.
That guy?
That guy.
That guy looks like Turbo.
Yeah, he has like millions.
He does.
It's a big deal.
What's this guy's name?
What guy are we talking about?
Anyway,
Anyone except Noah's heard of James.
Why are
Don't
we
care
talking
about
about him? How did he even come up and like I watched the show? What are we talking about?
All right, I got another internet corner for people.
Oh my
So
god.
they mention that Billy and Christy and their 7 kids are on the show, but Billy has another kid that is not on the show.
Oh yeah, Scarlet.
Sheep?
And apparently she's real scarred. Like, he just like let her at home while he did other stuff. So she is a black sheep of the family. There's some black sheep going on.
Different mom or same mom?
Different mom.
Different one.
Different mom. Oh.
She's the oldest. So.
Interesting.
How old is she?
How do you?
She's like, I don't know.
I believe she was born in 1988, but don't quote me.
Because they said Billy's been married to his wife for 32 years. She was born in 1988. She's 31 or 32. Ooh, Billy.
Well, she could be 32 today, but this show is from 2 years ago. So
exactly.
They did show her
from
in the
time
first
shenanigans.
They showed her right at the beginning of the first episode, and they were doing family introductions. She was the outspoken one.
No, she is not part of this family. So
She's not in the show at all.
There is one of the daughters they do introduce, and she never comes back.
Yeah.
And
We
she's
talked
like
about
23, and she was not born in 1988, and she is not by this mom. She is a completely different person who just doesn't
Does
come
this
up.
other side family also live on this large farm, just not like in the main house, or?
Well, there's Abby is the person you're talking about, Noah. Abby is the one that's like not on the show, along with Peter. At least not yet. There's also somebody else on the cast page that's not in the show at all, so like not the only other one. Then you have Clark, which is the boyfriend, which we really didn't talk about, but he's in the show. He's also a beefcake. Also doing that GTL.
A lot of beefcake in this show.
Then you got Jake is also a beefcake. You know, so it's like it's surprising how much it's not talked about them at the gym. Like you feel like that might be a bigger part of the show.
You don't need to go to the gym when you have steroids.
You still kind of do. You can't just
I mean,
like.
there must be a gym on property. They must have a gym.
They just keep lifting those kegs.
Yeah, I mean that they could do that. Are we ready for ratings? Anyone else have any other minutia they want to?
Can I ask how this show began? Do you think like MTV producers were like, this family seems interesting, or like this family was like, we need to be on MTV?
I think it's a Siesta Key situation.
Yeah,
so
It's
the
the
latter.
same thing. 1-800 Ask Gary situation.
Like it's an
I agree.
advertisement for Busch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's the dad of this family getting this reality show made so we can make some money off all these idiot kids. Same situation.
Yeah. Except he's actually on the show.
Yeah.
Unlike 1-800 Ask It.
Hey, 1-800 Ask Gary was in the episode we watched.
Yeah, but he's not really on the show.
He's a tertiary character, but he's there. Billy is much more central.
More of like a Chrisley knows best type situation.
Wait, one more thing. One more minutia. So this guy's name is Billy Busch. Did anyone at first start thinking about the other Billy Busch?
Oh yeah.
No.
Chris, do you know who we're talking about?
No.
The guy who interviewed Trump
Oh,
Yeah.
got him saying, grab him by the pussy or whatever on tape.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Also related to George Bush.
I mean, I don't gotta say he got Trump to say that. I think Trump willingly said that.
I'm just saying he's the other participant on that tape.
yeah.
All right, Rob. What's your rating?
Let's see. Am I putting an MTV show in the bottom third? Oh, yes, I definitely am. This show is just no good.
All right. Noah, what do you got for me?
So shit. Putting it at you know what? It's gotta go bottom of the bottom. There's nothing redeeming, and it has that MTV bullshit where it's like they preview what's coming in the next segment, and the next segment is just going over what they just showed you in the last segment. So you really have 10 minutes of content out of like a full hour. It's garbage. Don't watch it.
All right. Max, what do you got?
Bottom third, bottom of the bottom, fuck this shit.
Brian?
It's middle to bottom because it wasn't Chrisley Knows Best. That is easily the worst one.
Annabeth, what do you got?
oh, bottom of the bottom. This is garbage. I don't care about anyone. I don't know why this is the show.
Harrison?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a bottom third show. I think that they have some interesting characters in Billy Jr. and Gussie,
I'd like to see them just double down, cut all the other shit out of the show, and have like a Floribama Shorts style show with those guys in their crew. And maybe you got something, but as it is, it's definitely a bottom third.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's still a bottom third show, which you described.
No, but it might creep up a little bit.
What if we put Gussie on the challenge?
Man, Gussie would be great in the challenge.
Just put Gussie and Floribama Shore. You just said it.
There you go. Let's just cut out the middleman. Just get him on a Floribama Shore.
James, what do you got?
Okay, here's the thing. When the show started out, I'm like, okay, like, you know, let's see what's going on here. I kind of came in, you know, trying to give it a fair shot.
Sure.
But the problem was, and so, like, you know, I was about halfway through the show. I'm like, okay, it's probably a middle third show. But because of the hardcore and just over the top, forward looking and constant recapping, even so much so in the extent that when we saw episode 2, I thought that I was still watching episode 1 on repeat. Like, I was legit confused while watching it. And it's awful. There's just no content here when you get into it. And so after seeing 2 episodes, it's for sure bottom third. It's going to go in the middle of the bottom. It's not, it could be worse, but it's pretty bad.
I do want to back that up. It could be worse. It's still bottom of the bottom.
I might like it more than everyone else here, but I still think it's definitely in the bottom third. Like, I agree that Gussie and the storylines for them would be really fun, but like they really drag out everything. No, like if there's one storyline you don't care about, well, guess what? That's like half an episode and half the next episode and maybe the next episode. It's just like you gotta move it along or have more interesting stuff going on, and it's just so far it's definitely still in the bottom, but so that's where I'm gonna keep it.
Sound like
So
you were thinking about a James rating there.
I mean, like, it definitely, like, after the first episode, I thought, you know, that wasn't bad. It's probably middle third. But the second episode, definitely, I agree with you, James, really put it down a peg. Like, no one cares about your stupid horse and carriage at the end of the episode every time. No one cares about your stupid proposal, which we already talked about, which didn't happen. No one cares that, like, oh, you're still drinking. I get it. Are we going to, like, show you, like, doing stuff while drinking? Like, no one is... There's a lot of things wrong with it, but I feel like they had some sort of a start that could have been good. So that's why I'm just kind of disappointed in it.
Yeah.
Rob, you said you had an update for me.
I do. So we're not going to do the normal Masked Singer update. There's been 4 unmaskings. I'll just do a whole podcast on itself to go through it all. But there's an interesting thing, at least for this show, is that we're getting a little insight into the production schedule. Because Masked Singer's still on every week, but they've got a live studio audience, everyone in the crowd. So they're not filming these now. And so I'm curious, are they going to run out the whole season? And like we've discussed how much in the can is it when the season starts? Or is they suddenly going to be like, we have no more episodes to air? So I'm fascinated to see how that plays out. But I think, instead, I think most of this is in the can for the season premiere. And so I think we're going to get the whole season out of the way.
That's interesting, though, because it really sort of throws away the, like, oh, the audience votes aspect of it. Or is it just the audience that's there and not, like, people sending in
The audience
votes?
that's there is the only people.
Okay, so then that gels.
Man, it would be incredible if like they got through like the different groups, but not the finals, and then they did the finals, and the performers performed in their own homes with the Masked Singer masks on,
Amazing.
like that.
Yeah, but then
But
it
then
becomes
who
like
gets
a
to vote?
Cribs kind of problem. You could recognize that
and
house.
you know what everyone's house looks
Oh,
like.
for sure.
That is interesting. I don't think that they have the whole thing in the can, so I'd be
I know you
surprised.
don't, so we'll see what happens.
I also have an update from last week. We did Top Chef, and we started our Top Chef Fantasy League. So I'll give you guys a quick update on who's winning. Yeah, Harrison, not looking good for Harrison. Harrison Angelo Sosa got kicked off the show, which was one of his chefs. So he's in last place with 1 point.
I mean, you do what you can with the second to last pick in the draft. You know, is what it is.
Are you making draft excuses? Oh my god. So, Chris, are you keeping? As an update for the listeners, are you keeping the scoring?
Yeah, I've got the scoring and the spreadsheet here.
Okay, nice. I'm very excited.
Brian is in the lead because Kevin Gillespie won last week, so he got 4 points. So he's in the lead with 5 points, and then me and James and I are in second and third place with 3 points because we picked Brian, Valtagio, and Nini. They were in the final table, and everyone else has 2 except for Harrison, which has 1.
Nice,
so,
my girl Nini coming through, getting that final table.
Also, the top final the Last Chance Kitchen.
Redemption Kitchen.
Redemption Kitchen.
What was the last shit kitchen? Like that was I kind of had a ring to it.
Joe, whatever, the guy that was kicked off first one, so no one got any points for that.
Oh no, I didn't even know that.
So you're dead. Angelo's dead.
That's
He's not even at Last Chance Kitchen anymore.
It's pretty tough. I'm gonna have to go all the way.
Spoiler alert, Harrison. Sorry. Or at least for the rest of the crew.
That's rough.
I guess the other thing I want to mention before we leave, at least I want to mention, we'll give people time, is that Tiger King documentary on Netflix. I mean, if you haven't heard about it now, like you've been living under a rock, but it's great. I highly recommend it. Block off like 7 hours and you can just watch it.
I think it was last week Max really gave it some high praise. So back-to-back weeks in the end here. I've been watching Ozark new season.
Oh, I haven't started.
Oh yeah, big timing. No spoilers, but it's good.
Everyone else good? All right.
You plug again, Dave on Hulu.
Mute him, host. Shut him up. Mute him.
Okay, I did check it out. It was pretty good.
No.
Oh.
Really,
I watched
Brian?
one episode. I thought it was okay, and I haven't watched another episode yet. So.
I believe James is overruled.
Wait, so we've got Noah and Brian as big time pushers of this. We've got Chris in the middle. I think me and Annabeth are in the no way in hell camp. Anybody else got a stake in the game? Nope. Okay. We'll see if anything changes. I kind of like keeping track of this.
Hey, reach out to us and tell us what you think on Twitter @WhoPutThisOn and on Facebook.com/WhoPutThisOn. Email us what you think about Dave @WhoPutThisOn@gmail.com and
Zoom us at zoom.us/473-984-7586341.
You might need to slow us down for that one.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. He's also a beefcake. Max, can you turn around and just give that dog a good make-out sesh? Also doing that GTL.
A lot of beefcake in this show.
Then you got Jake is also a beefcake. Yeah, so it's surprising how much it's not talked about them at the gym. Like you feel like that might be a bigger part of the show.
You don't need to go to the gym when you have steroids.